Hi. Okay, so I was tagged by Platinum Howler to do the Wants to Battle tag, which was some tag started by someone who um, put out a list of questions and it's sort of just been spreading. Yeah, so I'm just going to answer some questions. But I was tagged by Platinum Howler. He's a good friend of mine. He uploads Wi-Fi Draft League content. He's definitely really taken off in this community over the past year. And is all around just a really great guy. So he said some really kind words of support about me and my content in his video. I reciprocate the praise for his channel. He's definitely one of the few Wi-Fi uploaders that I thoroughly enjoy watching, and I watch every single one of his games. And in his video, he answered the same questions that I'm about to answer. So check his video out, check his channel out. I will leave it in the description. He's a little bit bigger than me, but still tagged me anyway, which is cool. Okay, let's get into it. The best Pokemon of 2020 is the first question. So there's two ways I can answer this. One is personally, and personally my best mon has been Miltank. I've used it now in almost 30 Draft League games this year. 4 leagues total, 2 championship teams, 1 finalist draft, and I think 1 semi-finalist draft. It's been extremely reliable, just as like a mid-tier pick to patch fire and ice weaknesses because of the thick fat, and normal types are always handy to give you ghost resists. The big thing I love about it is it gives me a rocks option that, you know, means I don't have to have rocks on like a steel type or a ground type, which allows me to more freely pick things like, I don't know, scissor or I can't think of a ground type that doesn't get rocks, but scissor is an example. But yeah, it frees up to those typings on my draft, which I really like. Another shout from on that I had a lot of success with this year is Rotom Fan, which I've only drafted 3 times this year, but the 2 times I've drafted it, yeah, both have been on championship teams, and the other one I'm still using in like second seed going into playoffs, so I have a chance to make it a 3-time championship team, possibly. That being said, if I'm speaking more in a general sense, I probably have to say the Pokemon of 2020 is Urshifu. I think Urshifu is like the undisputable new mon of this year. Both forms, signature moves, and sheer power, and just uniqueness, being able to go through Protect, having the critical hits, everything. Has been really metagame defining, both in OU and ladder play, as well as in Draft League, I think. I think Urshifu was a very big addition to top tier threats in OU. I imagine the impact of its presence is even more extreme in the Galardex meta, given there's just a smaller range of checks and counters. And while I think like things like Dragapult, which I've seen other people answer with this question, and like other Galarmons have definitely been solidified as potent threats, they don't necessarily feel as like fresh in 2020 as Urshifu does. So I have to go with both Urshifu forms for that. I haven't even used the Dark type Single Strike form yet, but I loved Rapid Strike, so I imagine I'll like Single Strike too. Okay. What is the best video you've made this year and most look forward to making? Okay, so if we're going off sheer numbers, it's probably the type tier list video. I think that, well, one, it was definitely my like biggest video that like took off in terms of views and things. It's now my 2nd most viewed video on the channel, next to the first laddering video I ever uploaded. It's also my longest video by far. I think it's like an hour or something. I think it's more. It's almost like an hour and a half. And it's sort of just like me randomly, like at 1 in the morning with 2 friends who I was in call with, was like, do you want to make a tier list about just like the typings and things? And they were like, sure. And I didn't expect it to get as much traction as it did. So I'm really grateful. People are still commenting on it, still liking it, which is really cool. But I'm not the most preoccupied with like nitty gritty view counts. So truthfully, I think the video I'm more proud of is the EVing video. The EV tutorial video for Draft League, how to properly EV your Pokemon that like, you know, saves points and is done efficiently, things like that. It was really enjoyable way to just educate other players on something I'm like weirdly passionate about, and just like intricate team building and sort of showing a piece of where I think my expertise shines a little bit more in Draft League than in other areas. And it really just got the ball rolling on the Draft League sort of academia tutorial series that I'm doing on my channel, that, truth be told, has been the most successful stretch of videos on my channel by far, and also the most enjoyable to produce. So I fully intend to continue it into the future. Yeah, which leads into the third question. What can your viewers expect from you in 2021? So, okay, I'm not the most frequent uploader. Other people like Howler that I mentioned, and other people I mentioned in the later parts of the video, were definitely more frequent, consistent uploaders than I am. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to match that. We're going to see. But I do want to attempt to be as consistent as possible in whatever way I can. But yeah, I think number one is I want to continue the Draft League Academia series. Number two, which is sort of a smaller thing, I've been helping OG Albina on, who's like a creator with like a shit ton of subscribers. Not like a shit ton, but like 400 or something, like way more than I have. I've been helping him on his own sort of Draft League history series. We sort of found sort of common ground of interest and overlapping in terms of finding the history of Draft League and things behind it. So in doing so, I've been even more ingrained in sort of like draft league education history sort of things. His stuff is more like false swipe gaming, sort of like, you know, how has Xmon evolved over the 3 seasons, whereas I feel like some of my content is a little bit more general or theme focused. But it's been fun to work on both. I just started helping him with his most recent video, which is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, because I don't know if it's going to go up before he posts, but check out his channel if you want to watch. The big thing I want to put together in 2021, I've been thinking about this for about a month now, and whether that be help someone else make this type of video, or me make it on my own with the help of people. I need people like editors and things like that to put it together, and I'd want it to be as intricate and as well produced as I can possibly make it, given, you know, I'm just a stupid college student who has no idea how to use editing software or anything like that. But I want to do some sort of larger video, whether it be a series or a movie or like something about just like the literal history of Draft League. So how it started to exist, how it evolved, the names that sort of came and went, and things like that. If I could put that together, I would definitely consider that sort of my ultimate project. It's something I'd want to get perfect. So I'd be taking a good amount of time to do it, and like maybe literally months of like research and filming and things like that. But yeah, like a bigger project about Draft League history that can like sum up the entire format and history. Like, I think there's like a very famous like Smash Bros movie. Maybe it's just about Smash Bros Melee that just focuses on Melee. Oop, I still have my EV video up. Oops, that's my bad. Freaking, what am I saying? It would be about the literal history of Draft League, like how it started to exist and things. Freaking, yeah, I don't know. It'd just be a bigger project that I want to work on, and it can sort of sum up the entire format in history, include like literal interviews with people, things like that. What I was saying is like there's like a Smash thing that like sums up the history of Melee. That's like a pretty popular movie. Like I want to do something along the lines of that, maybe on a smaller scale that has to do with Draft League. I don't know. I just want to create some sort of bigger series on its lineage and history and things like that. Another thing is, which is sort of a big announcement. Well, you know, I haven't been like other Draft League YouTubers where I'm like consistent and upload a ton of leagues, but I hope and plan to be soon. I feel like someone could make like a slowpoke meme out of me saying this, but I literally just got Pokemon Sword and Shield and played through it. Beat the game. and I'm about to buy an Elgato. So that means I could potentially join some Wi-Fi leagues in the future and sort of experience a new medium of play and provide a more entertaining form of draft league battles on the channel. Just sort of experience a new way to play draft league. I started doing Gen 7 Wi-Fi leagues at the tail end of the generation. And I don't want to make that mistake with Gen 8 again. I want to get into Wi-Fi leagues as quickly as I possibly can. Not as quickly as I can, but like I don't want to stall and wait until like it's almost Gen 9, if that makes sense. I want to get the ball rolling on those as quickly, not as quickly, but you know, I'm ready for them is what I'm trying to say. I didn't think I was ready for them a year ago, but I think I'm more ready for them now. So yeah, join some Wi-Fi leagues, and just, you know, a few have already been shouted to me. It's just very exciting. I will say I kind of have a little bit of fear at the same time to like go back to uploading like literal draft league games on the channel, especially given like the immensely positive reaction, or reception, I should say, on my non-draft league battle videos, like the tutorial videos. So if you'd still be interested in watching me play draft league battles, these would be like live comms and things. Be sure to reassure me in the comments so I know that that's something people would want to watch of me. Because I have like a lot of anxiety about like, oh, Aquarius like uploaded all these like tutorial videos and things. So then if they go and do a Wi-Fi league and then like, I don't know, like they're not as good or they're not as interesting as like, I don't know, their tutorial videos, then it's just gonna have a negative reception or something. I don't know what I'm anxious about, but it's definitely a very nerve-wracking thing for me. I'm generally speaking kind of a socially anxious person, so stepping into sort of new communities, new themes can be very worrisome for me. But you know, if y'all think you would enjoy it, let me know. Okay, is there anything on YouTube that's made you feel really good this year? This is kind of a vague question. My proudest draft league moment that wasn't like my own games was that I was a pretty big part of Vepsis's UBL run just this month. And to see parts myself reflected in a battler that I've loved, that I've come to love and respect so greatly and immensely. It was a really cool experience, and it was really fun to do near the tail end of this year. And it was just cool to watch like parts of my sets and finals, or he named his Togetic after me, sort of make it into his videos. Like I said, I've been enjoying him for a long time, and I've just recently gotten to know him. I'll talk more about Vepsis later. Other than that, this isn't like adrenaline rush like made me feel really good this year. Like it's not like adrenaline rush like, yeah, I feel really great, like let's fucking, you know, dopamine inducing and everything like that. But something that sort of made me feel like happy in like a metaphysical sense, is just like generally speaking, is like definitively my best friend in the community, Matt, aka Dr. Slacking. That's what he, oh god, that's what he looks like. Boom. I can do it. I can do this. Okay. Matt, Dr. Slacking, I'm going to call him Matthew, is quite possibly someone I care so much about. I would like literally take a bullet for. He not only pulled me into this community, but took me out of a really, really dark place mentally, now over 2 years ago, right around when I started this channel. And I'm not sure I'd be like the person I am today, or even be like sanely alive without the incremental role he played in my life during that period of time, being a source of support and literal love. It felt like was something that pulled me out of a really dark place mentally that I hope I never go back into. I joke around with him and call him like my father, but I genuinely do sort of view him as a father figure. Anyways, he's announced that he is stepping back from Draft League. I promise this is going to get into the really good feeling later. I'm not really happy that he's leaving Draft League, but he announced he's stepping back from Draft League, and focusing on his career and his PhD. And what I'm happy about is that someone who I've looked up to so well has been able to find himself on like a personal level so much more. If you've been following his Twitter, it's been expressed in some of his YouTube videos, and just sort of being close to him and seeing some of what maybe his final battles are, witnessing him get like a Gen 8 championship, which was his ultimate goal. He beat me for the first time in a Draft League game a few months ago. But just sort of seeing his growth, not just as a player, not just as a community member, but like as a person who I genuinely believe will be a lifelong friend, finally saying, you know, I am going to dedicate myself to these things in my life, and if it means stepping back from Draft League, like, that is what it is. But I feel like he's just finding himself more, setting himself on a really great path, and I'm really, really happy for him. You know, I really do think he's going to be a friend that I will have for a very, very long time. So he'll probably brush off what I'm saying, but I genuinely believe from like an outside perspective, looking inward, based on conversations we've had, this is like the best I've seen him. So it honestly inspires me, and if all goes well with Miss Corona, then hopefully I can get the vaccine, or the virus has died down or something, and I can see him this summer along with some other folks like Nico and Sean. I already spent over 2 weeks with him in summer 2019, and it was an unforgettable experience. So hopefully I can do that again. Okay, not to get off track, sorry. The fifth question is probably the most foreign to me. It's the Crown Tundra or the Isle of Armour. Truthfully, I have no fucking idea. I've played neither of these, so it's sort of just going to be based off on, like, new features introduced. My initial intuition is to be like, oh, Crown Tundra, because it's, like, the most, like, recent in my mind. Let me get rid of Matt's freaking images. Okay. That's okay. What was I saying? Freaking Crown Tundra. Yeah, that's, like, the most recent one with, like, the Calyrex and the Reggies, things like that, and the legendary birds. But I don't think those new Mons releases have been as meta-defining as, like, one, Urshifu, which I talked about earlier, and two, all those new moves that came out in Isle of Armor, so like Flip Turn, Poltergeist, Triple Axle, Rising Voltage, Scorching Sands. I'm sure I'm forgetting some others. But they've been also impactful on the meta as well. So I've actually probably have to go for Isle of Armor on that one between the two. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Name a smaller creator who deserves more love. Okay, let's give some love. I'm going to give some love to Galadite74, who has 74 subscribers. How freaking funny. We both come from a smaller league called PIBA, although he was in it much longer than I was. And we were sort of channel growth, going sort of equal and parallel to each other. But he took a pretty big break about 8 or 9 months ago, a well-deserved break, and from Draft League, as well as uploading. But it was more about, it was a break from uploading as opposed to Draft League. But he's back. He's back uploading. He's doing fantastic live comm Wi-Fi content, which is totally new for him on the channel, and I think he's doing a great job at it. And is performing like competitively in Draft Leagues better than I think he's ever performed before. He made some tweet about it, which is cool. But it's really awesome to watch him grow, and just I think we relate to each other as like sort of two ridiculously long-haired, poppy-loving Pokemon nerds. So his content is really good. It's also like the most organized, I would say, like well put together videos in the community, well edited, things like that. He's like the only content creator who has like team builders before his games that are like not only bearable, unlike a lot of other team builders, which are kind of mundane and dry, but like actually enjoyable, and like you can learn something from them. I don't know what it is about them, just the way that he presents his team in such an organized fashion is almost like satisfying to watch. But yeah, he's a great player. Sub to him. I'll put the channel link below. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to. I hope that he hits 100 subscribers by early next year. So he's definitely a great player to watch if you're trying to learn battling from people who are like clear and level-headed and entertaining and aren't like as bizarre and fucked up as me. So yeah. Cool. Okay, so that's it. Those are the questions, except that I have to tag 3 more people. So first person I'm going to tag is Galadite. I really want to hear his perspective on his goals for the for his own channel coming into 2021, and how he feels just being on such a great role in terms of draft league performance and what his thoughts on the future are. I would really like to see him get into that. I would really appreciate his perspective. Next person I'm going to tag is kind of a meme tag, but I genuinely hope he does it, is Nico, aka Pokemon Trainer Hakeem. This man is like literally the funniest dude on earth and never uploads, so I'm forcing him to put out something by tagging him here. So if anything, it's just giving me an opportunity for him to talk about how great Soda Widow is. I don't mind that. I'd love to hear that. And he could like shit on other people or metas. I don't really give a shit, but I just want him to. I just want to hear him talk. I want his perception on things. Yeah. Okay. Last person I'm gonna tag, which I'm gonna spend a little bit more time on, is Vepsis. Vepsis is someone I consider right next to Matt as a role model for me, especially as of recent. A role model for me, like in the community. As of recently, he's been definitely the most supportive about my quest to get into the Wi-Fi scene. He joined my Owl team without even knowing me that well, and we freaking won that season. So yeah, he's been great. We've helped each other extensively in each other's leagues since then. He invited me to his personal circle of friends as of recent. We talk pretty extensively about Mons and random community trends and things all the time. He's just like surprisingly really friendly. Like he's huge and could probably like tear me in half if I ever tried to pick a fight with him. But he's like also like very friendly at the same time. I'm saying he could if he wanted to, but he obviously would not because he's like so sweet. You know, he has the best deep voice in the whole community and shit like that. But he's also just the most compassionate, friendly, joyous sort of guy. I love the dude. And I would love to hear his perspective on the meta, all that 2020 brought to the community, etc. And he's also just someone who's a lot smarter than I am, in my opinion. He's better at the game, has phenomenal Wi-Fi content. Probably the best Wi-Fi content in the community, I would say, both if you mix entertainment value and competitiveness. I think he has the best mix of those two. And he deserves as much credit as he can get for his amazing presence in the community. I think he's done a lot for the community, and is someone who deserves all the respect and attention in the world. He's really fantastic. A lot of love and respect for Vepsis. Okay, anyway, that's it. That's over. Hopefully that works, and I'm genuinely looking forward to 2021. There's going to be new stuff coming to the channel, like I said, hopefully Wi-Fi content. Yeah, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future of the people who I mentioned in this video. Once again, thanks to Platinum Howler for tagging me. Super amazing dude who I've loved working with in terms of draft building for his Wi-Fi games, and he's also just been great to me in the channel. So much love to him, much love to everyone else, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.